Hey everybody, welcome to week 2 of Spring into Action Challenge. I hope everyone had a great week 1. Sorry about the Facebook issues again. The pinned post will be at the top, but in order to comment on it, you have to again scroll down and find that same picture below. If you have questions, you can always email me, personal message me, or ask questions in any of the posts on the Peer Essentials Group Spring into Action Challenge Facebook group. So I would announce week 1's winners, but I actually am recording this before I have all the points sent in. And so just watch the Facebook page and see if maybe you won week 1. So far, we have 4 enrollments for the week, which is awesome. Yay. Congratulations to you guys that enrolled. And let's just keep going. So this week is March 19th through March 24th. And let me get my PowerPoint to work. Okay, so we pretty much have the same point system this week. Everything is the same, 5 points for samples. I'm not going to go through all of this. You have questions on points, then you can rewatch week 1's explanation of points or just message me. Just wanted to note that on the live this week, will be on Tuesday at noon, and that will be with Anne-Marie Bringhurst, so she'll be doing that with you this week. This week's webinar is this one that you're watching, and it's on the Natural Solutions class. This week's incentive oil is rosemary, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. So remember, I will post this post, week 2 points, on Saturday and leave it up until Sunday night, and commenting below there with just your points total. So again, it's really a simple process. I hope everybody has kind of knows what's going on. I do have a couple of people that sent in points that didn't register. So make sure that you register so that I can get your points counted. Otherwise, I don't have any information on you to count your points. So I hate to have people working on this and earning points and have it not counting because I don't have your registration. So make sure you get that into me. Okay, rosemary. So this is this week's incentive oil. So anybody that is doing this program, if you personally enroll someone with 100 PV, then we will send them a rosemary 15 ml for free. And again, this exact post will be posted on the Facebook group. Just put their name and their wellness customer or wellness advocate number with that, and we will mail that out. So I chose rosemary for a couple of reasons. It's one of the Sweet 16 oils that we're doing, so it'll be posted Monday morning as day 6, I believe, of the March Madness campaign that we are hosting on the Pure Essentials group. So there'll be lots of information on rosemary on that so that you can give people lots of information and they'll be excited about it. I also chose it because it is the oil of knowledge and transition. So I'm just going to read a little bit about it. This oil challenges individuals to look deeper than they normally would and ask more soul-searching questions so that they may receive more inspired answers. So I thought that this would be a good oil for us as well, as we're trying to kind of move forward and get unstuck, and maybe you want to go a little bit deeper in who we are and what we're able to do. Let's see. Rosemary brings expansion to the mind, supporting individuals in receiving new information and new experiences, so it's going to help us grow. It also invites individuals to trust in a higher, more intelligent power than themselves. It supports them in feeling confident and assured during times of great change in understanding or perspective. So it's the oil of knowledge and transition. It doesn't have to be a physical transition. It can be, just like if you go to a new house, a new school, this oil is going to help, but it's also going to help in great changes of understanding or perspective. So rosemary will root people in true knowledge that surpasses all understanding. So again, this oil is going to help you if you feel confused, if you have difficulty adjusting or transitioning, if you have a limited perspective or difficulties with learning. So use this oil. It will give you mental clarity, knowledge, help you be teachable, help you be enlightened and open to new experiences, and help your ability to adjust. So all of your physical benefits of rosemary, again, will be listed on the Pure Essentials group in the Sweet 16 campaign that we're doing, but I just wanted to kind of let you know why I chose it for our challenge this week as the incentive oil. So let's jump right into what I want to teach you. So if you guys remember my Sideways live that I did last week, I'm sorry about that. If nothing else, you guys please know that if I can do this, anyone can do this, because obviously I don't know what I'm doing. So hopefully you didn't watch that, but maybe listened. But I talked about how there are 3 things that it takes to be successful. It's skill set, mindset, and passion. So what we're trying to do with this challenge is we're going to have the weekly webinars, which is this that you're watching right now. Those are going to teach you skill set and tools. And then the weekly lives that the leaders are doing throughout the week are going to be a little bit more on mindset. Some of these may overlap a little bit. So of course you might learn a tool from a leader or get a little bit of mindset from me. But what we really are trying to structure is training and skill set, and then the leader teaching you mindset, and then we're hoping that you're finding your own passion with some of the exercises that I gave you last week or just on your own. So what I wanted to talk about this week and the next 3 or 4 weeks actually is the Empowered Success program that doTERRA has launched. And you guys, this is pretty amazing. This is the first time ever in the history of doTERRA that there's been a company-wide training system. And this may be the first time in most network marketing companies that there is a company-wide training system that has been put together by the advocates themselves and not being forced to do it. This is a collaboration by the Blues and Presidentials in doTERRA that have come together on their free time. They're not getting paid, and have come up with this wonderful training program for us. And I'm so excited about it. I hope you guys understand what a great thing and great tool this is going to be for us. We haven't ever really, we've had a few systems in the past that individuals have kind of done privately. I know when I started, there was no system at all. We just had the system of share and teach and enroll, and we're basically still doing that, but this is going to give you tools and how to do that. So this launched last month, so I thought that this was the perfect opportunity to teach you guys about it. If you've already watched the trainings, I posted them on the Pure Essentials Facebook group, or if you found them on the website, that's okay. Review is never a bad thing. I've actually watched the training live when they launched it, and then I've watched it a couple of times since then. So the more comfortable you are with the system, of course, the better you can teach your team. So I hope that this, if you have watched this, perfect, please watch this. Again, what I've done is taken the PowerPoint they've given us and kind of added my own flavor. And anyway, this is what we want to do, is duplicate it. So please try to learn the system inside and out. Even if you don't use it, all of its tools, I think it's very important as a leader that you understand what the system is, because it's a very good way to duplicate your team, and your team underneath you may want to use it. So let's get started. So it comes with these 5, I guess, or 6 guides at first. These are to hand out and share, or you can download them as well. So if you're not meeting somebody in person, you can actually send them a digital copy, or you can download and print them. They're not very expensive. We can actually buy them now on our back office. I'll show you where to do that. So if you are meeting somebody person to person, I would suggest, it's beautiful paper that you can write on easily. I do suggest having one that you can just give them a beautiful color copy. But if you're not meeting someone face-to-face, then they can mail that to them or have them download that right onto their computer. So we're not going to learn about all of these today, so don't panic. We're going to break it down and learn about two of them for the next 3 weeks. So today we're going to learn about these top 2. Healthy Can Be Simple, and then I'm actually going to kind of teach a mock natural solutions class for you. So this is where you can find these on doTERRA.com. If you go to, of course, doTERRA.com up here on our advocates, if you go down to Empowered Success, then it is going to take you to this landing page. And as you can see, it has the live, share, build, and launch right there on the bottom. You can also click on the guides right here, and this is where you can download. If you click on them here or click on them here, it's going to pull them up. You can download them, you can purchase them, and underneath each one are a bunch of videos as well. So as we go through each of these over the next couple of weeks, I'll show you those. I also wanted to show you what's under them when you go to doTERRA.com, again, under our advocates, Empowered Success. You can see this is what we're going over today. We're going to talk about the Natural Solutions class, and then they are coming up. These haven't come out yet. If you click on them, they're not available yet, but these are going to be amazing trainings that are trained by Rank. And so I'm very excited for these to come out in the future. When you go down here, and if you click on this Empowered Success webinar training, there's actually a live webinar where they're teaching you about these things as well. So it's something, again, you can watch and review. If you click on this team training, I'm going to show you that slide next. If you click on tools, there's only a couple of tools available right now, but there's a whole list of what's coming. So take a look at that. There's some, right now there's some drawing forms that you can print off, but you can see all of the amazing tools that are going to come to us in the next month or two. So when you click on this team training, this is the page that you're going to get, it'll take you to. And these are all live videos, again, that will teach you on this one. Will teach you on the build. This will teach you on share. This will teach you on launch. So if you want to listen to somebody else teaching it, or if you just want to review, you're welcome to go in and watch these anytime. These are the ones that I posted on the Pure Essentials Facebook page or group. There's also 2 different PowerPoints that you can download. So I actually downloaded both of these, and they're very, very similar. I used the Getting Started one, and then I added my own slides and took out a few. So I'll give you mine, and then you can also, the one that I'm using right now, but you can also download these and have those available for you. So I love all of these wonderful tools that are just at our fingertips. Okay, so this is a slide that is going to be in the build guide that, again, we are going to go over in a couple of weeks. But Vanessa has been talking about pipes if you've attended any of our leadership Zoom calls that we have monthly. And I love this idea that we're trying to build a pipeline, right? And so we're going to give you the tools to build that pipeline. The great thing about looking at that is you can look at these handouts that they've given us, and you can see where they're helping. So the Healthy Can Be Simple, obviously, is to help to invite people. Today, the Natural Solutions class that we're going to go over, I'm actually going to teach a mock class again, and that's going to be all about presenting. So I just wanted you guys to see where these fall in your pipeline. And then again, in the next few weeks, we will go over these other 4 guides, and they help you in enrolling and supporting your team. So again, we'll go more into that, but I wanted you to see where this is going to fit in your pipes structure. Okay, so if we look at each of these guides as a job, like what am I going to hire these guides to help me do? Because these are our tools, right? These are tools that we're hiring to help us get our job done. And so again, the Healthy Can Be Simple is going to help us share and invite. The Natural Solutions class handout is going to help us enroll and teach. And then the Live is going to help us enroll people in the LRP. The Share is going to help us enroll people into hosting. And the Build guide is going to help us enroll and commit people to building. And then once people have done that, we'll go through the Launch guide, which is going to help them launch to Elite. And then if you remember, I showed you the picture of those other guides that are coming. Those are going to be the guides to launch you to Gold, and then to Premier and Diamond, and so forth. So all that's available right now is this, just the Live, Share, Build, and then the Launch to Elite, and then those others will be released soon. Okay, so let's jump right into the Share and Invite job title. And this is the book that is if you don't have this one, I suggest you get all of these just to see them in your hand, because they're beautiful. This is a tiny little simple book. I love that it's called Simple, just because I really, there's so much going on in the world today with just so much trying to get our attention, that I think the more that we can simplify this and not overwhelm people, if they think that joining doTERRA or enrolling with doTERRA is going to be another thing to do for them, they're going to have to learn all of this stuff and spend all of this time, then that seems overwhelming to people. And so I love that they actually called this Healthy Can Be Simple. What we want to do is offer them tools to actually simplify their life and not make it more crowded. And so this is just a teeny little guide. What I do love about this guide is it is not a ton of information. You're just giving them little teasers and the basics that they need to know when you're giving them a sample. So this is what the front page looks like. tells them a little bit about what an oil is, tells them about CPTG, third-party testing, but again, without paragraphs and paragraphs of information. Shows them very easily the 3 ways to use the oils. And then we're going to jump right into issues. So how this book is different than like the Essential Oils Simplified that Boyd Truman has, that I hand out a lot of time with my samples. That book is a lot more information, and it actually goes through every single oil, and you can look up lots of different elements with that book. But what this is going to do is just introduce people, and it's going to just target people's most common issues. So you're going to have your immune support, you're going to have energy. I'm actually going to pull it out and look at it because I didn't show slides of every single page, but so you've got digestive issues, weight issues, exercise in there, sleep, self-care, immune system, green cleaning, focus, tension, cellular support with the lifelong vitality, talks about pregnancy and baby, women's health, seasonal outdoors, talks about travel, talks about energy, and talks about fun. So that covers really what most people are going to be wanting to know about. So again, instead of giving them a ton of information, we're just targeting people's top issues and giving them a solution. And then on this last page, it gives you the opportunity to actually give them an experience, to write down the essential oil, to write down how it supports them, and then how to use that. Another reason that I love this guide is it keeps people compliant. Instead of dealing with disease, instead of saying, oh, I have a cold, we're going to actually talk about the immune system, and you can give them a sample of On Guard and tell them that it supports the immune system, and then how to use it. So again, we are teaching people how to become well instead of targeting those symptoms. And then of course at the bottom here, you can give them your information. So again, this is the Healthy Can Be Simple guide. I'm not telling you have to use this. I just really think that it is a really simple way to have these in your purse. Give people just a touch, an intro to what doTERRA is, that again is going to address most people's most common issues. And then give them a sample. I still will use, just so that you're aware, I still love, again, Boyd's book, and I will do that because it has so much more information and I am trying to simplify. I will give that sample book if I just did a one-on-one with somebody and then gave them an additional sample, or someone came to a class or a presentation and left without enrolling, but I still want to maybe give them another sample and some information, then I would send that book home that's going to give them, I love those books that have every single oil and all of that. But again, this is just an introduction. This is if you meet somebody at the supermarket, just that first touch with people. It's a really, again, simple way to get them moving forward and to invite them to a class. If you're interested in this, then I'm going to be doing an intro class next week. Would love to have you come. So this is just a simple way to invite them, to introduce them to the oils and invite them to a class. Okay, so we are now going to go over the Natural Solutions class, and this, you guys, is beautiful. And I've used many different tear sheets over the last 10 years. I've taught classes with PowerPoints. I've taught classes without anything at all. Lots and lots of hundreds of basics classes. And I do have to say that I really, really love this. It kind of changes the feel from a class to an introduction. And I do like that again. And as you see when we get into this, that is really going to be a discussion that is more led by the group instead of just you at the front talking at them. And I think that's what makes the difference in turning it from a class that nobody wants to kind of be, just talked at the whole time, but an actual discussion about what people are dealing with in their everyday lives. And so let's get into how we can use this. So if you have somebody, great leaders that don't live near you, maybe you can't support them in person, so you're not going to be able to actually show up at their house and teach a Natural Solutions class. This class in a box is something that you can send to them and then maybe teach through Zoom or Skype so that you can still teach the class, but they have everything physically there. So this class in a box literally comes in that box. It comes with these cute invitations, 20 of them. And then as you can see, it comes with 10 natural solution handouts. This is because we know if we usually get about 50% of the people that we invite. So if you're inviting 20, you're planning on 10. It just gives you one live, share, and build guide. And that is because you'll see at the end of the class, we're just going to hold those up and kind of show them that they're available. We're not going to hand them out to everybody. You do get 10 living magazines and 10 wild oranges, and then also a product guide that you can hold up as well, and a welcome to doTERRA guide. But these oranges and living magazines, those can be used as incentives to kind of get people to come to the class. Hey, if you want to come to this class, just for coming, you'll get a free oil and a magazine, or a lot of people will save them and offer them as enrollment incentives. So as people come to the class, if you enroll today, then you get to take this wonderful oil home and this lovely magazine. So you can do it either way you want, but this is a great tool to have if it's your first time teaching, or again, if you have a leader that you're trying to teach that does not live near you. Now you can buy all of these things singly, so don't think that any time that you want or need 10 natural solution guides that you have to buy this class in a box. You can buy every single one of these things individually. This is just a great way to have it all delivered to a builder or a host that isn't near you. Okay, so this is what we kind of want the class to look like. We want to keep the class to 40 to 50 minutes at the most. It's important to realize that people, of course, are very busy. We don't want to be talking to them for too long. And then you also need to realize that the most important part of a party or a class is usually after the class, when everybody starts talking and maybe gathering in the kitchen and asking questions. And I know there's classes that I've taught in a half an hour, and then people will linger and ask questions for sometimes 1 to 2 hours. So again, we want to keep the actual class 40 to 50 minutes so that those people that do have to get in and out can do that, and then we can stick around and do enrollments and that kind of stuff after. So the purpose of this class is to gather people. As people are coming in, remember to listen to their needs, let them play with the oils. You want to make this something that is fun for people. And then we want to focus on their needs, and then we want to again, share top solutions and how we're going to support them. And we'll get into that a little bit more, but a mock class might look like this: 5 minutes to make connections and tell your story. Now, if you're teaching the class and you're the hostess, then this is when you would tell your story. If you have a hostess for you, or a builder that is just starting and maybe they're hosting it at their house, then this is something they would do. So your hostess would get up and tell her story for 1 to 2 minutes and then introduce you, and then you can tell your story as well. And again, we're not telling our whole entire stories, just maybe a quick story. So again, this can be done both ways. If you're presenting, have the hostess introduce you. That always makes you look like an expert, even if you don't know a ton more than those you're teaching. If you have your hostess introduce you, then they see you as an expert. The next thing, and we're going to go through these in more detail, you're going to spend just 1 minute, again, on your quick story and your intention for the class. And that way nobody's guessing on what we're going to be doing. You're telling them right up front what we're going to be doing, and they're going to understand. You're going to spend 10 minutes on this first page, and we'll get into that. Why essential oils and why doTERRA. You're going to spend 5 minutes helping them with their health priorities, and we'll get into that. It's on page 3. And then we're going to spend about 10 to 20 minutes teaching them about essential oils and lifelong vitality. And that's, again, we're going to cover that on page 2 to 3. And then about 9 to 10 minutes explaining your membership options and taking them to the next step. And then after that is when you can excuse people that maybe have to go. And then you can, of course, say, we've got essential oil refreshments. We can help you with enrollment kits. And again, we'll walk all through this. But I just wanted you to kind of see maybe a breakdown of where you should be spending your time when you're teaching a class. Okay, doTERRA has kind of introduced this with a book in a box theme, and I really love it. It just makes, again, things be very simple. So you can say with a book in a box, I became a solutions provider in my home. So if you're teaching for somebody in their home, they're hostessing this class, they can get up and say, with a book and a box, I became a solutions provider in my home, and I'm so glad that you guys are here so that we can teach you how to do the same, and then they could maybe share a quick story. So just this campaign that is really simple, that with a book and a box, you have the power to take care of at least 80% of the things that are going to happen in your home. And that is empowering for people to understand that just very simply with a book and a box. They get this lovely book when they enroll. You can also be talking about a essential oil book that you're going to give them or anything else, but just this idea that with a book and a box, they have lots of power to become a solutions provider in their home. Okay. So we want to state your intentions. So after someone has introduced you and you've maybe said, your quick little story why you're there today, again, keep it to 1 minute or so, then you're going to want to say to them, we're going to thank you for coming. This class is going to be about 40 minutes. And then after that, we're going to gather in the kitchen and answer any additional questions that you might have. But my intention with you is we're going to go over first what an essential oil is, second, how to use them, and third, how to get them in your home. And when you state your intention this way, those 3 things, then they understand at the end when you start talking about purchasing options, it's not uncomfortable because you've stated that in the beginning. I'm going to teach you what an essential oil is. I'm going to teach you how to use them. I'm going to teach you how to get them in your home. So it's all out in the open and everybody's excited about it. Remember, again, to keep this very simple. The confused mind says no. So if you're going to give them too much information that's going to confuse them, they're automatically going to say no at the end. So we want to turn this into an introduction to essential oils and not a training, right? We just want to give them, they're going to take this handout home. They're only going to remember about 10% of what you say, even if that. Again, we want to keep it very simple. So let's get started. So again, with this, we only wanted to spend about 10 minutes on this entire front page. So you can open with, I'm just going to grab a quick drink. Don't open with that, sorry. I was going to grab a drink. Okay, so you can open with choices and just touch a little bit on the modern approach to things and the natural approach to things. And as you can see, there's great examples. You can have people read these, you can read them yourself, but you can talk about how the modern approach to things are we go with the symptoms. And if we can switch that to you have the choice, there are choices for you. You can have the power in your own home that we can work on the root cause instead of the symptoms. America is fabulous for their trauma care. I think we're #1 in the world for trauma care, but for sickness care, we're not doing so great. We spend more money than any other nation, but we're not doing so great when it comes to just that everyday sickness care. I think we're like number 52 in the world. And don't quote that because I don't remember. So you don't have to give a number, but just say, we're really not doing that great. And so wouldn't it be awesome to have these natural solutions in our home? That when again, at least 80% of the things that happen in your home, you're going right to the root cause and you're taking care of these problems, and it's your choice. You have a choice now. You don't always have to just run right to the doctor. The other thing I love about these new handouts is they have these oil pictures. So as you're teaching and maybe you're a little bit nervous, you can remember that every time there's an actual picture of an oil, that's your clue to pull out that oil, smell it, pass it around, and let everybody have that oil experience. So I do love that they opened with wild orange because it's going to help with that anxiety, and it's going to help the mood be high in the class just as you're starting out. So let me see if I've covered everything there in my notes. Okay, and then you're just going to jump in again. You can have other people read, and you're just touching on these things. You're going to touch on the oils are effective. So what we want them to leave knowing is that the oils are safe, that they're effective, and they're affordable health solutions. And it kind of says that at the top. But this is where we're going to tell them how they're effective. And then this is where you're going to go into CPTG. And I'm not going to actually teach this part of the class. I think you guys have heard this over and over. If you need help with that, let me know and we can do that privately. But this is where you would talk about that. And then you would go down into the 3 ways to use them. Now, remember to pass these oils around again as you're talking about them. Again, you can have other people read these. This is where I suggest having a personal story for the 10 most common oils that we have, so that anytime, not just in this class, but at any time you're giving a sample or if someone asks you, you always have a personal story about peppermint on hand. You always have a personal story about Deep Blue and about On Guard and about lemon and lavender and the top 10 oils, frankincense, so that if you don't have a personal story already, then you can borrow one of ours or start using the oil until you have one. But it makes things run a little bit smoother if you don't have to share an oil experience about every single oil, but if you do have a story in your mind already for every single oil, you can always just pull on that if you get stuck somewhere in the class. Okay, so this is the next page, and it really is beautiful. I love how it's set up to look like a bathroom cabinet. And we want to make sure that we talk about it being a bathroom cabinet and not a medicine cabinet, right? We want them to remember that they have choices, but we also want them to realize that this is an everyday use. Like this is supposed to look like their bathroom cabinet. So at this point, we're going to make sure that if you didn't hand out pens at the beginning of the class, we want to make sure that every single person has a pen or a pencil with them. And we're actually going to skip over this page and we are going to jump right to this next page. And this is what we're going to do very first. We are going to take 5 minutes and help them list their top health priorities. What we want them to do is talk about what they want to feel less of and what they want to feel more of. So for example, if I was filling this out right now, I might put, I want to feel less tired, I want to feel less stress, I want to feel less irritability, I want to have less fat. These are just things that I would, if I were to fill this out at the top of my head right now, that's what I would fill out. I would probably put right now, I would want to feel more energy, feel more rest, and I would want to just feel more maybe nutrition all the way around. So that's what I would fill out. I love this idea of having them, instead of having them fill out their top health concerns, we're having them fill out what they want to feel less of and feel more of. Again, this keeps them out of disease mode and into lifestyle mode. So again, give them about 5 minutes to go through this and really fill this out. Then we are going to have them turn the page and say, okay, back here is a list of all of our products. If we start talking about something that you might like, we would like you to put a check mark by it. That way you can remember at the end and we can fit that into your plan and find something that works best for you and your family. Also, as we're talking about these awesome products, if you think of somebody else that may benefit from one of the ones that we talk about, go ahead and write their name next to it. So if we talk about peppermint right here and you think that maybe your mom might benefit from that one, then write her name there so that we can remember at the end as we're going through things. So let them know that this page, this wish list page, is right on the next page. And you may want to talk to them a little bit about, here's your single oils, here's your blend, so that they can easily find things. A blend is when we're talking about, explain what a blend is, and then let them know that here's some accessories, and then here's our wellness stuff, just so that they're able to find things. As you start talking about them in the class, you may actually kind of tell them where they are on the wish list so that people can find them easily as well. Okay, we're going to flip back to this beautiful page, and then we're actually going to have them physically write on their little cabinet here. So we are going to have them write, "Be prepared for anything" on this top shelf, and let them take the time to physically write that. And then we're going to have them physically write, "Be prepared with self-care," be refreshed with self-care on the second shelf. And then on the third shelf, we're going to write, "Be healthy with daily habits." So again, we're just subconsciously teaching them that yes, we're going to be prepared for everything. We're going to take care of ourselves because everybody loves that self-care. And then we want to introduce daily habits. This is a lifestyle that we're trying to introduce to them. Okay, so now that we've got this top part filled out and we've got the words written on these 3 shelves, we're ready to talk about these 2 pages. And as you can see, above all of these products is a cute little drop that corresponds to the drop over here. So above Breathe, we've got a 1. Above Digestin, we've got a 2, so that people can easily see what the products look like. Then instead of just going through each one, like, okay, number 1 is breathe, number 2, I mean, you could teach it that way. Instead, a great way to teach is to ask someone in the room if they're willing to share with them something they want to feel less of. And so we're addressing each of their needs, and it can be something they want to feel less of or something they want to feel more of. So if somebody said, yeah, I'll share, I would like to feel less tummy upset. We seem to have a lot of tummy upset. They probably wouldn't say tummy upset in a class just because they probably wouldn't know how to speak compliantly. They'd probably say upset stomachs or stomach aches. But that's when you would say, okay, well, we are prepared for those. You can see over here on 2, we've got DigestZen, and then you can talk about DigestZen. You could read this, you could have them read it, you could share a quick story about DigestZen, and then you can move to the next person. Does somebody else want to share? Yeah, I would love to feel more rest. Oh, we have a perfect answer to that solution, or we have a perfect solution to that problem. In our self-care shelf over here, we have Serenity. And this is when you can talk about Serenity. You could even throw in Serenity soft gels. You could throw in a story about Serenity. Again, have them read it. Just talk a little bit about what's going on. So basically what we're doing here is we're figuring out what they need, and we are being a solutions provider. We're teaching them how with this beautiful cabinet, they can be the solutions provider in their own home. So the next person or the same person might say, they would probably say headaches. And that's when we would say, oh, look at number 3 in our Be Prepared section. This is called past tense. This comes in a roll-on. It's a blend. You can find it in the blend section on that wish list on the next page. Will you read these for me? And then maybe a quick story about past tense. So again, this becomes a discussion in the group. Not everybody's going to want to share. Some people probably won't even really fill this out, but there are going to be, I guarantee, people that will want to share. If they don't, you can start throwing in your own. Like I had said, when, you know what, I would love to feel more rested, or I would love to feel more energy. And you can start talking about things that are going on with you and how you came up with solutions for those. Most people are going to have the same 10 issues or so in their home, again, because we're guiding them away from disease, and we're talking about just what they want less and what they want more of. Now, so we're going to spend the next, remember we said 10 to 20 minutes on these products. You don't have to cover all of them. Remember, it's good to pass them around when you talk about them. At some point, if somebody says energy or nutrition, then that would be your clue to talk about Lifelong Vitality. We want to make sure that we talk about Lifelong Vitality. It's our number 1 product, even though we're an essential oil company. We have this fabulous 30-day satisfaction guarantee. You'll get your money back if you don't love this product, which I don't know of any other vitamin pack that they can find out there that has a money-back guarantee. And just spend a little bit of time on this. The reason I want to talk about Lifelong Vitality so much is because it really is the foundation of people's health. And it is the foundation of LRP, which as business builders is very important to our retention. And so we really want to make sure to tell them, Lifelong Vitality has so much information that we could spend a whole class teaching about it, but I want to just touch on the top things and the top benefits that this vitamin pack really has for you. And then you could also go into, anyway, you want to make sure that if somebody if somebody mentions energy or nutrition or something like that, at some point in your 10 to 20 minutes on this page, you want to talk about the Lifelong Vitality. Okay, so then after you've spent, go through, if people are still wanting to share and find all these solutions and you're helping them, then you can spend a little bit more time here. But again, you want to be really time conscious. And if you've started to spend 20 and it's going past 25 minutes, then you might want to say, okay, if we didn't answer any of your questions, then again, remember I'm available after or anytime, and we can make sure that we find solutions to all of those things for you, so you can kind of wrap it up that way. Okay, so when you get to this point, again, this is a great time to bring up this campaign again, this idea that with a book in a box, they can be a solutions provider in their home. So at this point, you can say, okay, we've talked about all the essential oils. We've talked about those things in the beginning, what an essential oil is, how to use them, and now we're at that last part where I'm going to teach you how you can get them in your home. So again, they knew the intention. This is a nice time to transition into how we're going to talk about that. And this is where you can actually say, again, with a book in a box, you can handle at least 80% of the things that happen in your home. And you can become a solutions provider in your home with just a book in a box. So again, we're going to spend about 9 minutes on these next pages, just giving them the options of enrollment and the different kits. So let's start up at the top, where you're just going to tell them really quickly. The Costco comparison is an awesome comparison for people. They understand it very quickly, but you want to make sure, again, we want to keep it simple. You've got 3 options. Your first option is to pay retail. Your second option is to pay $35 to enroll, just like a Costco membership. And your third option is if you enroll with one of these beautiful kits, your membership, that $35 is actually free. So you're just lining it right up. You're giving them 3 options to choose from, and that's it. Retail, $35 for a membership, or enroll with a kit for free. Those are their 3 options, and you're making it very simple for them. Then we are going to always, I love that we show the diamond kit. We always want to show this biggest kit, right? And then we want to show, I love that they show the Natural Solutions kit right here. I love that it's called the Natural Solutions kit, and this was just a Natural Solutions class. So it all fits together. And then what you can point out to them is that bathroom cabinet that we saw that was so beautiful, that they understand now that they can be prepared on this shelf, they can have self-care on this shelf, they have daily habits on this shelf. All of these beautiful products are in this kit. And I love how they did that. And it comes with this beautiful box. So again, with a box and a book, you're ready to go. So every single product that is in the Natural Solutions kit was shown in that cabinet. And then that also leads you into the perfect opportunity to talk to them about LRP as well, because you're showing them at the top here, maybe getting ahead of myself, that they are able to earn 100 product points and start at 15%. And that's going to maybe be confusing to them. So you can quickly jump down here, teach them very quickly about the loyalty rewards, so that they understand what it is and the benefit of starting with this kit. They get 100 free points and they get to start right here at 15%. Now, of course, we also have some smaller kits that are great starter kits that are available as well, so that they know that they can. But when you're starting talking about the Diamond Kit, and then you spend a ton of time with the Natural Solutions Kit, these seem very, very cheap to people after you've talked about these two. So again, remind them of the 3 choices they have: pay retail, $35 to enroll, or if they enroll with a kit, then membership is free. So remember to keep it simple. I can't say that enough. A confused mind says no. So the more simple you can make it, the better it's going to be. At this point, you're just going to tell them about any of the promotions that are going on. Oh, and I needed to tell you that, like this week, you could say, if you enroll with 100 PV, so any of these kits, you actually get a 15 ml rosemary that we didn't even talk about, but I can give you lots of great information on it. So if you enroll this week, then that's there for you. You can always find the promotions on doTERRA.com. If you go up here to advocates and then the drop down here, it says promotions. It'll tell you what's going on if doTERRA is actually offering a promotion. This is just an example. But again, keep it simple. You don't want to overwhelm them. Okay. At this point, you can kind of go into, this is the next page. And this is where, if you had ordered that class in a box, or if you don't have, to make sure you have a live, share, and build guide with you so that you can hold them up so that they can physically see that you have a plan. So you can talk to them about the nature of who we are. So basically at this point, I would maybe say the nature of who I am is I actually want to change lives. These oils have blessed my life and the life of my family so much that I want to share them with as many people as I can. So I have 3 challenges for you at this point. The first I would invite you to change your own life. And that's where I would hold up the Live magazine and I would say we have a wonderful follow-up program that we can talk to you about lifestyle and make sure that we've answered all of the questions if we didn't get them answered for you tonight. The second option that I have for you or challenge would be I would invite you to share with others. So as we were talking about these wonderful oils tonight, if you wrote names down of anybody, or if your brain was thinking, oh, this would be good for so-and-so or this so-and-so, we have this amazing follow-up program that I can assist you in sharing with others. And then the last challenge I have to you, if you're like me and you want to change your future with the doTERRA opportunity, then we have this fabulous follow-up program where we can help you build an income and make an impact on the world. And so you're not pitching the whole business. You're just showing each of the Live, the Share, the Build. They can see these beautiful forms there. It makes it very duplicatable. It makes them, oh, there's a path. There's something to follow. There's someone here to support me. And you're just inviting them to first change their own life. Second, share and change the lives of others. And then third, if they do want to change their future. So you're just kind of planting those seeds, and then we're going to move forward. We're not going to go into the comp plan or anything else. You're just going to kind of give them those options. And then you want to say, let them know. You're probably wondering what these last two sheets are and why there's two of them. The first one is a wellness agreement. Basically, this is if you do want to share and earn any kind of income, you would enroll as a wellness advocate. And then there's the customer option. And so you're just going to go through really quickly these options with them. Remember that you're going to want to enroll anybody, most people as a wholesale customer, unless they are planning to build right then. They want to tell you that they're going to build or that they're going to share and have a party next week. Most people you're probably going to enroll as a wholesale customer, but just let them know what the options are, and that's why there's two different enrollment forms at the end. So basically they have the same benefits. The only difference is with the wellness advocate, you can enroll other people and you can earn an income. They both have the $35 membership. They both have the 25% discount. They both have discounted and free shipping. You can earn the free oils with that LRP program we talked about. Again, the only difference is with the wellness advocate, you can enroll others and earn income. And then I would suggest turning back to this page and just kind of ending with this quote, nature was man's first remedy. Everything we can find, everything we need can be found there. And maybe just touching again on that campaign of, with a book in a box, you can be a natural or a solutions provider in your own home. So that's just a very quick overview on kind of how to teach a class with the Natural Solutions Guide. And I hope you guys loved it. This guide is beautiful. It has changed a couple of times over the last couple of months as they've revamped it. And so if you don't have the one that I just presented on, again, please just order at least one of these so that you can see how beautiful they are, or at least download it on your computer and flip through it. If anybody would like, we can, I can teach classes for you. I know your upline leaders are available to help you either teach your first classes for you or, share in teaching over Zoom classes or things like that. But we really want you to know that we're here to support you in any way we can. But please take a look at this Natural Solutions Guide. You guys, like I've said, over the last 10 years, I have used a ton of different things to teach a basics class. And this, I think, is my favorite. And I love the idea of a discussion instead of me just teaching them about the 10 most common oils. You can actually let them teach themselves. And again, that's very duplicatable. By using this form, people can see that everything that you just taught them, they could teach other people doing the exact same thing. And so I think that's probably the most important part of this system, is that it's duplicatable. Anybody that you're teaching in a class is going to be able to think, you know what, I can do this. They're going to be empowered and know that they can do that. So, all right, you guys, have a great week. Again, if you have any questions, make comments underneath week 2, personal message me, email me. I hope you guys are having great success and growing personally, and hopefully your businesses as well. And I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon.